Nashoba Pride. Hello, Bolton. I would like to welcome everyone here today. I'd like to welcome Senator Jamie Eldridge, who represents us in Boston. Jamie Eldridge, an ally of great renown. And Senator Robin Kennedy, who also represents this particular district. Thank you for coming today. You know, we are a community under siege. We have our trans kids being used as political pawns, and we need to come together as a family and protect them. I see elders moving into the last phases of their life having to hide who they are because of where they are. And trans violence for all families has increased. So please, everyone, remember our joy through all of it, because we are people of joy. We love, let me say this again, we love our celebrations, truly. And we are one big family, a huge tent welcoming everyone. We turn no one away. We're proud of everyone. Welcome. We love you. So, we love you. Let's march. Let's never forget who we are, how we got here, and where we're going. Let's do it, folks.
In her 7th term as state representative of Middlesex District, which includes the towns of Bolton, Hudson, Maynard, and Stowe. She is the first openly LGBTQ speaker pro tempore in the Massachusetts House and has been a tireless advocate for all of the members of our communities. We're very grateful for her unwavering support.
Thank you. Hello, Nashoba Valley. It is so good to see you. Let's keep off this rain and party on, everybody. You know, we're celebrating 21 years of marriage equality in Massachusetts this year. Love is love, everybody. 21 years of being recognized, and it's so important. For better, for worse. For richer, for poorer. For sickness, health, to love and cherish. Those are important words for all of us, not only for those closest, but also in our entire community. You know, we're in a very, very, very dangerous part of our American history right now. We have seen our trans kids being used as political toys. We've seen our trans community under so much stress from the increased violence and threat of violence. We've seen seniors having to choose between their authentic selves and what they have to be to finish their lives in nursing homes. And so for today and for this year, what I am focused on is not only protecting every member of our community that I can in Massachusetts, but also to refuse to lose the joy of this community, because we are, folks, a joyful community. And we love our celebrations. And so please use today to network with each other, to find friends, to reconnect, and understand that those folks in the legislature and I'm the co-chair of the LGBTQ caucus, will do everything we can to support and protect our rights and the people that we love so very much. I love you all. Please enjoy the day. Be safe. Take care. Keep the joy. Love is love, everybody. Love is love.
And up next we have Senator Jamie Eldridge, who has served as the state senator for the Middlesex and Worcester districts since January of 2009, serving the towns of Acton, Ayer, Boxborough, Hudson, Littleton, Maynard, Stowe, Sudbury, Wayland, Harvard, and Southborough. He has been a vocal champion of his communities in the current political climate, and we're happy he could be here today.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here. Thanks to all the organizers of the Nashoba Pride Festival, and honored to be here with Representative Kate Hogan and Senator Robin Kennedy. And I really just want to reflect on the fact that while I understand and am quite aware of the attacks at the national level, I'm just so grateful to be part of not only a legislature, but a legislative district that is so supportive of the LGBTQ community. I was elected in 2002. Thank you, guys. I was elected in 2002, and so within just 9 months, the Supreme Judicial Court made the ruling that marriage equality was the law of the Commonwealth. And for those that were active in that effort, there was a 5-year effort to defeat the constitutional amendment that would redefine marriages between a man and a woman. And I just want to thank everyone who was so active then, but then not to stop, is to advocate and push for public accommodations and civil rights laws for transgender people. Then, under the Supreme Court decisions around Roe v. Wade and other decisions attacking LGBTQ communities and reproductive rights, we passed gender-affirming laws and laws to protect reproductive health care for every single resident in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I want to thank you for pushing for that. And then last session, I don't know if Representative Hogan had mentioned it, but we passed a bill that's been around for about 8 years, the Parentage Act. And that is making sure those that have non-traditional ways to adopt kids or to have kids in their family, is to make sure that they have the same exact rights as biological parents, an issue particularly important to the LGBT community. As the Senate Chair of the Judiciary Committee, it was my pleasure to guide that bill through the committee and work closely with Representative Kate Hogan. So what you're going to see both in the House and Senate budget, in legislation going forward, in the Senate, which has a special Senate committee focused on how are we responding to federal attacks, including on DEI and LGBTQ communities, is you're going to see continued action by the legislature this session. That doesn't happen just because you have pro-LGBTQ legislators. It's really about constituents, whether members of the LGBT community, whether allies, advocating, coming to our State House offices, coming to our district offices and advocating. And I'm just so grateful when I think back to that 2003 decision that advocacy has continued. We haven't let up, and we make sure that marriage equality, that LGBTQ equality is continuing to make progress in Massachusetts. So thank you so much. It's always wonderful to be here. So proud to represent so many people here at this festival. Thank you so much.
Well, our fabulous drag queens need just a few more minutes to get more fabulous, so we're going to switch up a little bit and have Trevor Boylston speak next. Trevor is a motivational speaker and board member at Speak Out, the nation's oldest LGBTQ+ speakers bureau. Trevor works to empower companies and communities to welcome transgender people and to help communities create positive social change. Through his personal stories, he creates space for transgender and non-binary people to share their own journeys and breaks down barriers that lead to misunderstanding. Trevor, thanks so much for being here.
Hi everybody, I'm actually really glad to go before the drag queens because that's a really tough act to follow. I know David D and she is absolutely incredible, so very happy to be before them. As you just heard, I am a member of Speak Out Boston. It's the nation's oldest LGBT speakers bureau, and their mission is to create a world free of prejudice and bias by telling the truth of LGBTQ plus lives. And we need that more than ever today. There is so much misinformation out there that telling the truths of our lives, our existence, our reality has become so critical. So usually the way Speak Out works is we go out to faith communities, schools, businesses, any community organization that's looking for more knowledge about our community. We usually send a panel of 3 speakers. We share our stories in about a 5-minute format, and then it's Ask Us Anything. And we really mean that Ask Us Anything. We want people to feel comfortable in that environment, asking questions, getting the knowledge that they need, and dispelling the myths. So I thought a lot about what I was going to say today, and I want to focus on coming out and how coming out may be more difficult currently, and I know it's scary currently, and how it's not just that one-time thing that happens. It's not this magical, I'm out and the whole world knows forever and ever and ever. It's something that continues to happen over and over and over again at different times in your life. I remember the first time I came out to my mom and said, "Hey Mom, I'm a lesbian." I got it wrong. It was several years later before I was finally able to come out again and say, "Hey Mom, you know what? I'm a straight guy. I'm a straight guy." And she was like, "Well, okay, if you're going to be a straight man, you need to learn to talk about sports. So go to the store, buy a Patriots shirt, a Bruins shirt, a Celtic shirt, and a Red Sox shirt. I don't care whose name is on the back of it." And that was pretty much my mom's beginning of processing my transition journey. At the time, I had been isolated from a source of income, so I was reintroducing myself to the workforce, and I temped through that early part of my transition. I thought it was great. I didn't have to explain it to anybody. And when I finally did get to a point where I was comfortable in my transition, I was working for a company. They didn't know I was trans. I was there for 8 years, and they made it very clear that it was not an environment where it was okay to be out as trans. But I was lucky enough after 8 years to move to a new company, and I thought, this is great. I'm going to keep my head down. I'm not going to be out. I'm just going to be myself, do my work. And shortly after, one of my coworkers stood up and he started telling transgender jokes. Everyone around him just kind of laughed. No one disrupted the behavior. And that went on for days. And I started getting angrier and angrier about this. And I'm thinking, well, the company is telling me that this is a safe environment for me. They have a zero tolerance policy. They have language in their employee resource groups that says that they want transgender and LGBT employees here, but the reality is not matching that language. So I eventually called him into a conference room and confronted him. And he started crying. He said, "I have a family member who's transitioning and I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm losing the person I've been closest to my whole life." So I came out to him and we had a conversation that day for 2 hours. And I let him ask me all the questions. And I'd like to think that I helped his family member because he saw that he was not losing a person. He was gaining more insight into what that family member was going through. He turned into an incredible ally, and he propelled me into a state of understanding my own privilege, that I was stealth enough that no one knew I was trans. I was secure enough in my job, in my life, that I had a responsibility to stand up and say, "Hey, wait a minute, something's wrong here, and we need to disrupt this behavior." And really put a call out to all our allies. So right now, we need our allies to stand up and disrupt this behavior. Across the country, we need you to stand up and disrupt this behavior. Tell your stories, be proud of those stories, keep speaking up, stay safe, stay strong, stay proud, and thank you for having me today.
Okay, we are going to just change it up just a little bit more, and instead we're going to have Darren to shine first, and then we'll have Diva and Myconic in a little bit. Darren to shine is a drag king from Providence. We're thrilled to welcome him to Nashoba Valley Pride for the first time. He performs all over New England, and his drag story times have helped to open many minds and encourage children to embrace difference in themselves and others. And in fact, there will be a story time in a little while, so look for that on the schedule, and we'll announce it before that happens as well. All right, Darren.
I'll just start by saying hi. Hello, everyone. Oh, look at all your beautiful faces. Thank you so much for coming out today and celebrating Pride and continuing all of the stories that we need to share, because it is very, very important that we, A, come together and know we are not alone, ever. We're always here for each other. And B, no matter how loud the other folks get, we can be louder with love. Okay, fantastic. So we're gonna move right into our next performance with Iconic as DVD. This is the third year that we're privileged to have Iconic join us here at Nashoba Valley Pride. She is the Worcester Drag Gauntlet Cycle Court Queen and never misses an opportunity to advocate for the queer community. DVD is joining Nashoba Valley Pride for the second year. She was the 2023 Miss Gay Worcester First Majesty, and she shows her commitment to the queer community in every performance and story time she does. Well, I know everybody wants to be the next speaker following that performance. Next, in theory, is Steve Kerrigan. Not totally sure if Steve's here yet. Steve, if you are, can you come up front? All right, so we're going to move on, and luckily Robin Kennedy has agreed to speak next. Senator Robin Kennedy is in her second term as the state senator for the 1st Worcester District, which includes the towns of Berlin, Bolton, Boylston, Northborough, West Boylston, and parts of Worcester. She has proven her dedication both in her record in the State House and her constant support of community activities throughout her district. Our communities are fortunate to have her representing us, and we're grateful for her support of the LGBTQ+ community. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you so much, JL. And let me be clear, I am always proud to follow the beautiful performances of my good friends Steve and Dee and Iconic. Thank you so much, as always, for making our community such a beautiful, beautiful space. And happy Pride, Nashoba Valley. I am so grateful to be with you here today and be with you every day here in this beautiful town of Bolton and across our communities. Today, as Rep. Hogan said, we stand in celebration. But just like Marsha P. Johnson told us in 1969 at the first Pride, Pride is a celebration, but Pride is a rebellion. Pride is the resistance, right? And we know the further we make sure that people have their rights, the powers of evil are going to continue to push back, and we are in those darkest moments today. But just like on the battlefields of Lexington and Concord, just like at the first Women's Rights Convention in Worcester, just like the first state to codify the right for everyone to marry who they love, Massachusetts, we don't just back down, we are on the forefront of the resistance. So here in Bolton and across the Commonwealth, not just during Pride Month, but every day of the year, let us make our voices loud and clear. We are not going back. We are not sitting still. We are going to continue to march forward. We're going to make sure that every child, like my niece Gianna, grows up in a world that makes sure that whoever she is, whoever she loves, that we are here to support her, to stand with her, to make sure that every child feels seen, feels valued, feels celebrated in their whole authentic self. So to every child out there who's questioning their identity or questioning who they love, know that your government stands with you, supports you, is here to make sure that you have every right to every support that you need, and we're going to continue to celebrate with you. So we stand in resistance, but we know that joy and celebration is every part of that resistance. So Happy Pride, Nashoba Valley. Happy Pride.
Just checking one more time to see if Steve Kerrigan is here yet. I know that traffic was pretty bad and may have been held up. So I'm going to move on now and have Maddie come speak to us. So Maddie is here on behalf of both Boston Public Library and also the Library Freedom Project. Library Freedom Project is a network of values-driven librarians working together to build information democracy. Advocates of the Library Freedom Project work collaboratively to drive policy, teach stakeholders, and enact change. We're excited to welcome them here as we all try to navigate through the current political climate. Maddie?
Hi folks, happy Pride. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Maddie Cropley. I'm from the Boston Public Library. I'm also a member of Library Freedom Project. And my colleague Andrea is also here. We're actually going to be doing something a little later today if you guys want to join us over in the programming tent. It did just blow away, but we are going to set that back up. That's, hey, the weather, what are you going to do? So I'm a librarian. We're very happy to be here, like I said. Let me just open my speech back up here. Millions of people, including probably many of you, use your public libraries like every day, every week, every month. That's right. So, people use the library for a million different things. They use them to use the computers, to use the Wi-Fi, search for jobs, access books, databases, and most importantly, talk with the staff to get the help they need with the information that they're looking for. The staff. I'm a little biased on that one, but yeah, the staff is very important. Well, as you know, libraries and their staff are under threat right now. We're under threat, as well as other cultural memory types of institutions. You may have seen that the IMLS, which is called the Institute of Museum and Library Services, that distributes federal funding to libraries. They're trying to dissolve it. Yeah, boo, that's right. Boo. That is having an effect in Massachusetts. Here in Massachusetts, that federal money is distributed again by the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, which goes directly to libraries in Massachusetts. And they've already had to cancel some grant-funded programs. There was a manga program that was for prisoners at the Massachusetts Department of Corrections that got canceled. There were 18 Explorer grants to public libraries to fund different types of services in different communities across Massachusetts that got canceled. Hopefully we don't see more of this. So what can we ask you guys to do today? You all said you use your library. Everybody uses the library. Yeah. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Use your library. Check out books. Go to programs. When things come up in your town about funding and budgets and stuff like that, go and talk for your library. Then at the national level, write to your congressman, write to your senator.
Right, just reminded, free and open to the public, all public libraries. Steve Kerrigan is, we're actually running a little early on our scheduling, and he's running a little bit late, so we're really on time. So we're going to pause here and let everybody have some time to enjoy the vendors and to make their way around to the different organizations. Before the discussion group with Maddie and Andrea, which is at 2:15 in the hopefully still standing programming tent, we will have Steve speak just before that. And then the other things to be aware of are the yoga class that is at 3 o'clock. And the story time with Darren to Shine at 3:25. And then do make sure that you check out the raffle table. We do close tables in intervals, so you want to make sure if there's something you're really interested in that you get your raffle tickets in before that. So enjoy. We're going to just play some music for a little bit, and we'll be back in a little bit with our next part of the programming. Thank you. Happy Pride.
My name is Leah, they, them, and I run Leah CS Photography. I've been running it for about 13 years. Went to school for photography. I just love working with people, I love working with pets and kids. I do events, I do portraits. I really try and tailor what I'm doing to suit people's needs. I'm queer myself, and it's really important to me that, you know, non-traditional families feel welcomed and celebrated. I just love helping people have a good time and facilitating, doing all the sort of behind the scenes stuff so that people just have to show up, you know, if they're getting married or we're just taking, you know, kid photos, family portraits, make it nice and easy and fun.
I'm Amber Thompson, and I have Funny Honey Farm. So I have a goat farm, so we're a dairy farm, and right now we have about 40 dairy goats. So we've been around since 2020, and we're expanding now and building a new barn so that we can meet all of the needs for the state to make sure that we can sell our goat milk. These events are so fun. I love meeting the people. No, we just have such a good time here. It's so fun, and you know, we're so happy to have all of these wonderful folks stop by and give us so many compliments.
My name is Luke Beatrice, and I'm an artist. I'm a trans artist, so I have a lot of Pride stuff. My Pride coat of arms are, I think, my most popular ones. But I also have like dragon pronoun pins and like random magnets and things. But I also do a lot of pop culture stuff, so I have like maps and characters from video games and TV shows and things. Yeah, I've never been to Nashoba Pride before, but I heard about it, so I had to come. And it's really hopping. Well, my dad's an artist, which was sort of an easy way in. But I've been doing it since high school, where I started doing comics with like LGBT characters in them, and then I just sort of kept going. Sure, I do a lot of other Pride events. I started doing like conventions like Boston Comic Con and stuff, but I realized that at Pride events there's a lot of nerds and geeks here that love Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, and so the overlap is really insane. And I do probably like 8 or 10 Pride events in Massachusetts every year.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I'm here representing Board Games and Yarn, or BGAY, which is an adult-focused social group in the Metro West Mass area, and yeah, just centered around queer adults being able to socialize like away from the bar scene, just with like cozy activities in an accessible and COVID-safer environment. We don't have a fixed space yet, but you know, maybe meeting outside in someone's yard and like other like public social spaces. So yeah, a little bit like adult queer club. Yeah, I'm happy to be here at Pride. I feel like this is the first local Pride that I've been to since moving out of Boston. So yeah, I'm excited.
I'm Julie Daniels. I'm a school psychologist at Quinn Middle School, and I'm one of the co-advisors for our school's GSA. We call ourselves the Alliance. This is just, we're our Alliance table. We're asking people to write messages of support for our kids because it's been a rough year, and we're selling flowers to fund our end of the year celebration, and have stickers and all for everybody. Let's just support the kids, you know, whatever they are is wonderful.
Hi, I'm Darren to Shine. I'm a drag king from Providence. I like to dress up like a very sparkly gentleman and frolic around. I read stories, I dance, I sing, and I just have a grand old time. I feel like I finally found the one art form that makes sense of all the things that I enjoy. Singing, dancing, costume design. I make a lot of my outfits, and it's been really nice to have like one joyful community-focused space to actually create art.
Could your art have a little something more? Oh, what do you think could be the solution? Glitter! Just add glitter!
Happy to be here, to be out, to be queer, to share joy and make more rainbows happen in life.
My name is Eileen Merrill, and I am the owner of the Purple Rose Jewelry and Gifts. And I am an advocate for gay rights. Basically, I make a lot of handmade jewelry. As you can see, I have some lovely, beautiful handmade jewelry. This is all real. It's all real gemstones and real pearls. And I either make them in gold-filled or sterling silver metals. So it's all precious metals and everything. This particular one here are real freshwater pearls in various sizes and shapes. And these are also beautiful sapphires. So these sapphires are from Ceylon in India. My design aesthetic is mostly Victorian. I do have some modern jewelry, like things like this. These are all rubies, and it's in more of a modern design rather than a Victorian design.
My name is Jennifer Jakes, and Nicole Calvert and I are the owners of Exhale Massage in Stowe. We're a queer-owned yoga and massage and skincare studio. Super inclusive, and we have yoga classes for everyone and massages for everyone 7 days a week by appointment, and classes online. Exhale Massage, it's spelled with an X. But we also do a lot of queer events in the including queer yoga, which is more of like a fun, lighthearted yoga experience at Exhale. And we do other private events and things like that too. So lots of different wellness activities combined in a really fun, welcoming space.
My name is Heather Rockwell, and my business is Heather's Hearth, LLC, and I do jams and jellies, and I also do metal work, which I don't have here, but mostly jams and jellies. I do the Hudson Farmers Market, and I do various festivals and stuff like that. My best sellers are the strawberry rhubarb and the wild Maine blueberry, and I make them all in my kitchen, which is certified from the town of Hudson, the Board of Health. They come and inspect me. I'm working on going to wholesale where I can go into cheese shops and stuff like that. People want my stuff. So, and that's what I'm going to do. My husband works for Carlson Orchards, and I get my peaches, nectarines, cherries, apples from them during the season. And then I do a lot of prep work where I freeze things so that I can have them like the rhubarb is only available one time a year, so I get a lot of that and I cut it and I freeze it. So everything is frozen fresh. This is the first year here. Yeah. Yep. And I experienced such joy with everybody. It was just amazing. I was overwhelmed by the joy of people just being able to be themselves, and I will always come back as long as they have it. I almost was moved to tears because it was such a collection of joy, you know.
Ginger Bowe. She's the senior minister of the First Parish Church of Bolton, an inclusive and welcoming church community here in Bolton. We would like her to offer some closing remarks as we begin the end of the afternoon together.
Hi, everybody. It's so great to be here, and we've been complimenting Jael on what a great job the organizers have done this year. Our church is what is known as an open and affirming congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association, United Church of Christ, and American Baptist Association. So we welcome all, and that's why we're here. We're here every year. I just wanted to say a few things about something I actually learned this past week. Don't get scared. I'm going to use the word preaching, but I'm not going to preach, okay? I went to a preaching conference virtually, and there was one speaker who gave a speech called Beyond Division, Beyond Binaries, Gender Diversity in Your Church. His name is Austin Hartke, and he is the founder and executive director of Transmission Ministry. And this is what they do. They are a collective that is online, but it is committed to dedicated to the spiritual care, faith formation, and leadership potential of transgender and gender expansive Christians. I invite you to look at Austin with an E, Hartke. He had a lot of great things to say, both biblically, he has a master's in Hebrew scriptures, and from the perspective of a trans person. Division in churches is what he talked about, and he said that churches like ours that are open and affirming, or have another title that means the same thing, welcoming to LGBTQ plus individuals and families, they become more resilient, and they know how to heal division better because they've been through a process of learning about the pain and the violence and the suffering out there, and of welcoming in folks for healing and comfort. So I guess that's where I'm going to end, and just with the welcome. Anyone who feels like stopping by, we have church at 10 o'clock on Sundays. We're going to be having a celebration of our open and affirming status on June 8th. You'll see it in the news, and welcome all.